On April 2nd, US President Donald Trump announced sweeping new tariffs on imports from the UK, EU, Japan, and other major economies. At first glance, this seems like a story for the trade and manufacturing sectors. But here's the real question. Could a US tariff decision really affect the UK housing market? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. From mortgage rates and construction costs to overall buyer confidence, these global economic shifts could have ripple effects right here at home. Let's take a closer look. To understand how this all connects, let's start with US inflation and interest rates. Trump's tariffs, 20% on EU goods, 24% on Japan, and a 10% universal levy mean higher prices for American consumers. That puts pressure on the US Federal Reserve to keep interest rates high to combat inflation. But what does this have to do with the UK housing market? Well, if the US keeps rates high while the Bank of England starts cutting, we could see a weaker pound. That makes imports like steel, timber, and even kitchen fittings more expensive for UK developers. And mortgage lenders? They may become cautious, holding back on fully passing Bank of England rate cuts to mortgage borrowers. So what does this mean for UK homeowners and buyers? Mortgage rates may not fall as much as expected. Fixed rate deals could remain higher than anticipated. Tracker mortgages might offer smaller savings than before. The housing sector may also face challenges with construction costs. Even though the UK government hasn't announced retaliatory tariffs, developers could still feel the squeeze. Higher import prices mean lower profit margins, which might lead to fewer new builds or higher property prices. Rising import costs, materials like steel, timber, and fittings often come from abroad. If trade tensions or a weaker pound drive prices up, developers may build less or charge more. And here's another layer. If Chinese steel is redirected to Europe due to US tariffs, we might see a temporary dip in prices. But if the EU responds with anti-dumping duties, things could quickly change again, creating more volatility. In short, new home buyers may face delays or higher prices. Renters could see rising service charges. DIY renovators might notice imported materials becoming more expensive. Then there's buyer confidence, a critical factor in the housing market. Economic uncertainty tends to make people hesitate. If tariffs slow down growth or job security weakens, buyers might take a wait-and-see approach. And if mortgage rates remain sticky, some may hold off on making big decisions. But it's not all gloomy. UK wage growth has recently outpaced property prices, restoring a level of affordability we haven't seen since 2019. That could support buyer demand even if the outlook becomes more cautious. So, will Trump's tariffs crash the UK housing market? Probably not. But they could make the road ahead bumpier, with added pressure on mortgage rates, construction costs, and buyer confidence. At UK Property Accountants, we specialize in helping property investors and landlords navigate uncertainty, and we offer a free 15-minute discovery call to help you plan your next move with clarity and confidence. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.